This is a direct command to your spirit. Do not give up. No matter what you are going through, no matter how much it hurts, no matter if the road has gone dark or you can no longer see a way out. Because the reality, as painful as it is this: no one is coming to save you. No one is going to lift you off the ground. No one is going to carry you to the finish line. If you stop, the world does not stop with you. And if you lower your head, life will run you over without looking back. There are moments when pain drags you down, when the mind betrays you, when the body screams that it cannot go on. But right there, exactly there, when everything seems lost, that is where the true character of a man is measured. Not on days of glory, but on the days when everything collapses. And even so, you decide to keep moving forward. Because giving up is not an option when you know who you are, when you know why you started, when you understand that your purpose is worth more than your comfort. You have to understand this. Life will not ask your permission to hit you. It will hit you head on, without mercy, when you least expect it. It will take away your sleep, your strength, your hope. It will push you to the limit just to see if you really want it as much as you said you did. Because many say they want to win, that they want to make it, but at the first difficulty they give up. They talk about dreams, but they live in surrender. They talk about goals, but they are not willing to endure the process. You cannot be one of those. You cannot allow yourself to fall into weakness disguised as an excuse. Every time you think about giving up, remember this: there is someone out there who does not give up, even with fewer resources than you, even with more pain, more obstacles, more reasons to stop, and still keeps going. Why? Because they are hungry, because they have a purpose, because they do not allow themselves the luxury of giving up, and neither should you. Giving up is easy. It is the option most people choose. It is the path of those who are defeated by their mind, by comfort, by fear. But to continuing when the body trembles and the soul breaks, that is what separates ordinary men from men who leave a mark. Fire is not forged with caresses. Steel is forged with blows, in the heat of suffering, under the pressure of resistance. That is how character is forged, how discipline is formed, how respect for yourself is built. You are not here to give up. You are here to endure, to break your own limits, to become someone who can withstand what others cannot. And that, brother, is trained every single day. It is trained when you do not feel like it, when exhaustion drags you down, when tears weigh more than your muscles and you still move. It is trained in silence, when no one applauds you, when no one believes in you, when everyone turns their back on you. Because the moment you decide to keep going, even when the world ignores you, that is the moment you become invincible. The greatest enemy is not out there. It is in your head. It is that voice that tells you, stop, you've done enough, this isn't worth it. That voice is dangerous, it is treacherous, and you must crush it with every step you take, because if you listen to it, if you give it power, you are dead, not physically, but spiritually. And when a man dies inside, there is nothing left that can save him. That is why your duty is to remain standing even when you tremble. Think of soldiers advancing under a storm, mud covering their boots, fear crackling in the air. They do not advance because it is easy. They advance because they have a mission. You have one too. Yours is not to give up. Yours is to resist when life tries to break you, because when you resist, you do not just stay alive, you grow stronger. Every blow, every fall, every tear, every failure is training. One more brick in the construction of the most powerful version of yourself. And yes, you will have days when you cannot go on, days when exhaustion steals your breath, days when the pain is so great that nothing seems to make sense. But let me tell you something, giving up does not ease the pain. It only multiplies it. Because when you give up, the emptiness grows, the guilt becomes heavier, and the voice inside you grows weaker. But when you keep going, even if you are crawling, when you take one more step, when you resist one more minute, something changes. Not outside, but inside. You start to believe again. You begin to understand that you are stronger than you thought. There is a phrase that men who live with purpose understand. No one remembers the one who gave up. It is harsh, but it is true. The world forgets those who stop, those who quit, because the ones who make a difference are those who continue. Even when no one sees them, even when everything seems lost, the one who gives up disappears. The one who resists leaves a mark. You have to build that mindset, the mindset of the warrior who rises, not because everything is fine, but because he refuses to let pain rule him. That is true discipline, continuing when there is no motivation, fighting when no one is watching, believing when there are no signs of hope. That is how you win, how you overcome, not with luck, not with talent, but with the ability to endure more than others. Look, most people give up just before they make it, right before the moment when everything was about to change. Do not be one more on that list. If today you feel like you cannot go on, hold on a little longer. Do not stop now, because the pain will pass, but the satisfaction of having endured will stay with you for the rest of your life. Do not give up, not now, not ever, because giving up once is easy, but afterward, every time life hits you, your mind will remember that you did it before, and that becomes a habit. Resistance is also trained. Mental strength is not born, it is built. Every day you choose not to give up, you grow stronger. Every day you choose to continue, your spirit hardens, your will sharpens, until you reach a point where nothing breaks you. Not because life stops hitting you, but because you no longer shatter. That is true power, and that power is only achieved if you decide again and again not to give up. Sometimes the enemy does not come in uniform or with visible weapons. Sometimes the enemy is inside you, waiting for the moment you let your guard down to attack you with thoughts of defeat. That inner voice that whispers, "Why keep going? No one recognizes you. This isn't worth it." That voice is the real battlefield, because the most brutal war is not fought outside, but in your mind. Most lose there in silence. Before the first blow even lands, they give up, not because they cannot, but because they stop believing they could. You cannot allow that. You cannot give up in your mind, because if you surrender there, everything else collapses. Your mind is your fortress, but it can also be your prison. You have to build it with tough, disciplined, unbreakable thoughts. If you leave it open to fear, doubt, or self-pity, they infiltrate like enemies and destroy your spirit from within. That is why every day you must reinforce your mental walls with purpose, discipline, and vision. You cannot start a day without being clear about why you fight. A soldier without a mission is an easy target. And you, if you are not clear about your purpose, will fall victim to any distraction, any blow, any excuse. When life gets hard, the easiest thing is to say, "I can't anymore." But let me tell you something, "I can't" does not exist. What exists is, "I don't want to suffer anymore." And there is a big difference, because we all can, but few are willing to pay the price. Pain is the filter. It is the barrier that separates the weak from the strong, dreamers from doers. If you are willing to go through pain, you are already above 90% of people. They give up because they expect life to be fair, but life is not fair. It is relentless, demanding, and sometimes cruel, and yet that is where the beauty lies. Those who endure are transformed. Every fall, every failure, every sleepless night is part of the process. They are the invisible bricks that build your character. And the worst thing you could do is give up just when pain begins to bear fruit, because every pain you endure leaves a mark, but it also leaves you with power. It makes you wiser, more aware, more dangerous to mediocrity. So when you feel on the edge of the abyss, when you think you cannot go on, repeat it inside yourself like a mantra: "I will not give up." It does not matter if you say it crying, screaming, or in silence. What matters is that you do not break it, because that promise keeps you alive. Look, everyone wants the result, but no one wants the process. Everyone wants victory, but few want the battle. They want the medal without having bled for it. But real men, the ones who make a difference, the ones who leave a mark, are those who love the process, who find strength in suffering, who rise with broken bodies and tired souls and keep going anyway, because they understand something others do not. Giving up never shortens the road, it only erases it. You must become a man driven by conviction, not by emotion, because emotions change. Today you feel motivated. Tomorrow you do not. Today you have energy. Tomorrow doubt invades you. But if you have conviction, if you have purpose, not even bad days will stop you. A focused man does not give up because of how he feels. He does what must be done because he knows his duty does not depend on his mood. That is the difference between those who succeed and those who fade away. Do you know what the problem is for many? When pain arrives, they get confused. They believe suffering is a sign to stop, when in reality, it is a sign to continue. Pain is not the enemy. It is the message telling you that you are growing. Just as fire forges steel, adversity forges your character. If you run from pain, you run from your own development. There is no glory without sacrifice. There is no success without wounds. There is no respect without resistance. When you are at the bottom, when you feel that nothing works, when everything you have tried seems to fail, remember this: darkness is not the end. It is preparation. A soldier does not train under the sun of victory. He trains in rain, cold, and exhaustion. It is in those moments when the body wants to stop and the mind wants to give up that an invincible spirit is forged. If you endure when there is no hope, when no one sees you, when everything collapses, then you become unbreakable, because there you prove that your will is stronger than your circumstances. The man who never gives up becomes a symbol, not only for himself, but for everyone who watches him, because example is contagious. When you continue, you inspire. When you resist, others believe they can too. And that is the power of the one who does not give up. He does not just change his life, he changes his environment. The energy of the warrior who endures spreads, transforms, elevates. That is why you must not give up, not only for yourself, but for those who watch you without you knowing, for those who take you as a reference, for those who need to see that it is possible. And listen to this carefully. The one who does not give up, even if he loses, wins, because he does not measure his worth by results, but by his ability to endure. You can fall 100 times, but as long as you keep getting up, you are never defeated. Real defeat only arrives when you give up. Until then, you are just in the process. Failure does not define you. Surrender does. Many believe success comes when things go well. No, success comes when you keep going even when everything goes wrong. When your mind tells you to stop and you continue. When your body asks for rest and you stand firm. When the world turns its back on you and you do not move an inch. Right there, exactly there, self-respect is built. And that respect is what matters most, because you can lose everything: money, friends, recognition. But if you respect yourself, you are never defeated. Do not give up. Do not do it out of pride. Do it out of purpose, because giving up is denying your potential. It is betraying the man you could become. If you are breathing, you still have a chance. And while you have a chance, you have a mission. Do not stop. Do not let go. Do not surrender. The war is not over until you say it is over. Every time pain hits you, remember this: pain is temporary, but glory is eternal. Wounds heal, exhaustion passes, tears dry, but the satisfaction of having endured stays with you forever. No one can take that away from you. That is your victory. So lift your head, clean your wounds, and keep moving forward, because the one who does not give up does not just survive, he conquers. There is a truth very few are willing to accept. Life does not stop to wait for those who give up. While you lament, the clock keeps ticking. While you think about quitting, the world moves on. And when you decide to stop, someone else out there is breathing the same exhaustion you are, feeling the same pain you are, but refusing to give up. That person will eventually surpass you, not because they are more talented, but because they had more endurance. Because while you doubted, they kept walking, and in the war of life, that changes everything. The man who does not give up is dangerous. He is the one destiny cannot control, the one circumstances cannot break, the one failures cannot stop. Because he no longer fights with physical strength alone. He fights with faith, with determination, with a mind hardened like steel. Giving up stops being an option. It is erased from the map. Only forward remains. And when you reach that point, when you understand that you have no other way out but to continue, you become invincible. But to get there, you must die symbolically, die to fear, to ego, to excuses. You must bury the weak version of yourself, the one that seeks approval, the one that gives up at the first difficulty. That version must disappear. You have to look in the mirror and recognize that inside you there is a sleeping warrior waiting for you to wake him. But that warrior is not born from pretty phrases or speeches. He is born when you choose to continue even as you fall apart. When you choose to get up without hope, with nothing but decision. When you choose to keep believing even when no one else does. The battlefield of life is not physical terrain. It is in the days when nothing goes right. It is in the moments when you feel the universe conspiring against you. In those seconds when you ask yourself if it is worth continuing. And it is there, right there, where everything is decided. Because those who decide to give up remain trapped in the what if. But those who endure, who hold on, who do not let go, are the ones who one day look back and understand that all that pain had a purpose. Every blow, every defeat, every night of desperation was necessary. Everything was preparing you. Pain did not come to destroy you. It came to forge you, to make you strong, patient, focused. And if you look closely, you will notice that every time you thought you could not make it, you did. You are here, standing, breathing stronger than you were before. So tell me, why give up now? Why go backward when you have already endured so much? It makes no sense to give up in the final mile. It makes no sense to quit after so much pain. If you have already suffered, at least let that suffering be for something. The problem is that many want results without sacrifice, strength without trials, success without effort, respect without struggle. But that does not exist. Respect is earned in battle, in the effort no one sees, in the moment you choose not to give up. No one respects the quitter, but everyone respects the one who persists, who resists, who does not stop even when the world collapses. Sometimes life will bring you to your knees, and believe me, not once, but many times. But what matters is not how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up, because every time you do, you redefine yourself. Every time you do, you shout to the universe, "You haven't beaten me yet." And that is the phrase that keeps the warrior spirit alive. Surrender has no place in his vocabulary because he understands that pain is part of the process, that pressure creates strength, that chaos awakens true inner power. When you give up, you surrender control, but when you resist, you take command. And that is what makes the difference, because the one who does not give up governs his destiny. The one who endures, even when everything is against him, proves that he possesses the most important thing, self-mastery. And self-mastery, brother, is absolute power. It is the deadliest weapon in any battle. Think about it. The great men who changed history were not the most talented or the most intelligent. They were the most stubborn, the most persistent, the ones who refused to give up, who kept moving forward when everyone told them they could not, who endured humiliation, failure, loss, but they continued. And one day, without even realizing it, they arrived, not because luck favored them, but because they never stopped. You have that same potential inside you, but you will never discover it if you give up. You will never know your true strength if you run from pain. You have to go through the fire. You have to bleed, cry, get tired, lose, and still continue. Because at that point where you cannot go on anymore is where the power you did not know is born. The power to endure, the power to rise when your mind tells you there is no reason left. That power transforms you, turns you into a different man, into someone who no longer fears losing, because he understood that what matters is not giving up. And listen carefully, this is not about being invincible, it is about being unbreakable. Even the strongest man falls, even the most disciplined one gets tired, but the unbreakable one rises again and again until life itself surrenders before him, not because he has no fear, but because he learned to move forward with fear, not because it does not hurt, but because he learned to use pain as fuel. That is what you have to do. Every tear, every blow, every disappointment, use it as energy. Turn pain into fuel. Turn anger into focus. And when you want to give up, remember who you were when you started. Remember why you began. Remember that you have already endured too much to turn back. There is a point on the path where the body stops responding, where the mind clouds, where exhaustion becomes unbearable. That point is the threshold that separates the ordinary man from the man who leaves a legacy. The ordinary one gives up. The one who leaves a mark continues, because he knows that if he can endure that pain, then he can endure anything. Pain does not scare him, it defines him. And while others look for shortcuts, he looks for resistance because he knows that every second in that battle is worth gold. Do not give up even if your hands tremble, even if your head tells you to stop, even if all roads close. Take one more step, one more breath, one more second, not because it is easy, but because giving up would betray the strongest version you can be. Because one day, when everything is past, when you look back, you will understand that those moments when you were on the verge of collapse were the ones that built you, that made you dangerous, indomitable, free. And that day, when you look in the mirror, you will not see someone who never fell, but someone who never stayed down. There comes a point in life where exhaustion is not physical, but of the soul, where muscles do not hurt, thoughts do, where the body does not weigh heavy, the mind does. That point is the battlefield where many fall, not because they cannot continue, but because they no longer remember why they started. And that is where you must be different, because the one who does not give up does not wait to feel good to continue. He continues even when he feels destroyed. Listen to me carefully. Difficult days are not punishment. They are the test. They are life's way of asking how badly you really want it. And if your answer is weak, if your commitment is shallow, life knocks you down without mercy. But if you stand firm, if you refuse to let go, if you remain standing even when the world collapses, then life bows before you, because the universe respects those who endure, who do not give up, who fight even with a broken soul. Being strong does not mean having no fear. It means looking fear in the eyes and saying, "You will not stop me." It means continuing even when pain pierces your chest, even when doubts scream at you to stop. Strength is not in always winning, it is in always getting back up. True strength is not seen when everything is going well. It is seen when everything is going wrong and you still do not break. There is something you must understand. Surrender disguises itself. It does not always come head on. Sometimes it presents itself as rest, as a pause, as "I'll try again later." But the truth is that every time you choose to postpone, every time you give in to comfort, you are opening the door to surrender. And that silent, gradual surrender is more dangerous than any direct blow, because you do not notice it until it has already defeated you. It slowly steals your fire until one day you wake up and no longer recognize the man you are. That is why you must stay alert. You must discipline your mind like a soldier in enemy territory. You must recognize when weakness disguises itself as logic, when the inner voice tries to convince you that giving up is smart, that continuing is not worth it. That voice lies. That voice is your closest enemy. It is the internal sabotage that wants to drag you back to the mediocrity you fought so hard to escape. Your duty is to silence it. Do not negotiate with it. Do not listen to it. Execute. When a soldier is in combat, he does not ask himself if he feels like firing. He acts because he must. You are the same. Do not ask if you feel like it. Act because it is your duty, because your mission in life does not depend on your mood, but on your purpose. A man guided by his emotions is a prisoner, but a man guided by discipline is a general of his destiny. Do not give up, even if the world underestimates you, even if they tell you it no longer makes sense, even if everything seems lost. Because right at the point where everything seems impossible is where most people quit, and where the few who continue conquer. It does not matter how many times you fail. What matters is that you do not stay down. Every time you fall, get up stronger. Every time you are hit, use the blow as a reminder that you are still alive. Because as long as you have breath, you can still fight. Think about this. Diamonds are formed under pressure, not in comfort. Muscles grow when they tear. Character is strengthened when it is tested. Do you see the pattern? Nothing great is born without pain. And yet most people run from pain as if it were the enemy. But those who understand it, who accept it, who embrace it, are the ones who reach the top, because they know that every second of pain is an investment, not a loss. Do not be mistaken. Giving up does not free you from pain. It only changes the kind of pain you feel. If you give up, you will feel the pain of regret. If you continue, you will feel the pain of effort. But one destroys you and the other builds you. And I promise you this, the pain of effort fades, but the pain of regret stays. It buries itself in your soul, follows you every night, reminds you of what you could have been, and there is no heavier burden than looking back and knowing you gave up when you still had more to give. So keep going, not out of pride, but out of purpose. Because if you are breathing, there is still more to give. If you are alive, it is not over yet. No matter how tired you are, no matter how many times you have fallen, as long as you do not give up, you are still in the fight. And while you are in the fight, you can win. There is something inside you that the world needs, but they will never see it if you stop. People need real examples, not empty words. They need to see that men still exist who do not bend, who do not break, who do not give up, men who rise again and again, even when the world mocks them. You can be that man, but to be him, you must decide every day, every morning. When you open your eyes, repeat it. I will not give up. No matter what comes, I will not give up. That phrase is not just motivation, it is an order. It is your code. It is the line that separates you from those who fade away. Because when you repeat it enough, you engrave it into your mind. You turn it into reflex. And when the storm comes, because it always comes, you will not ask whether to continue or not. You will simply move forward like a soldier who knows his duty does not end until the mission is complete. Do not give up even when people abandon you, because the path of the one who endures is lonely. But it is also sacred. It is in that solitude that you truly know yourself, where you realize you do not need applause or approval. You only need conviction. True respect does not come from others. It comes from you, from knowing that you did what you had to do, even when no one saw it. Pain does not destroy you. It cleanses you. It strips away weakness, removes excuses, leaves you alone with your essence. And when only your essence remains, what remains is the indestructible, the part of you that does not give up, that does not break, that does not fade. It is the part of you that neither fear nor defeat nor time can destroy. It is the part of you that has been waiting for you to stop doubting and start moving forward. So get up. Try one more time, again and again, until you achieve what you said you would achieve. Not because it is easy, but because giving up is no longer an option. Because a man who gives up once can give up 1,000 times. But a man who refuses to do so, even if he falls, even if he bleeds, even if he is alone, cannot be defeated. Surrender is a slow death. Resistance is life itself. Choose to live. Choose to resist, choose to continue, because as long as you have one more step in you, you have not lost. As long as there is a single ounce of strength in your chest, you have not fallen. As long as you are breathing, you have power, and that power, brother, is what will make you invincible. Do not give up. Not now. Not after you have bled so much. Not after you have carried so much weight. Not after you have come so far. You have gone through fire, through sleepless nights, through days when you thought you could not go on. And yet here you are. What more proof do you need of your strength? What you carry inside does not go out with exhaustion. It ignites with purpose. You were not made to give up. You were made to endure. Look around you. Most stop when it hurts, but you do not. Most hide when the storm approaches, but you face it head on. Because the one who gives up seeks shelter. The one who fights seeks conquest. And you did not come here to hide. You came to conquer your life, your fears, your limits, your doubts. You came to prove that no matter what the world takes from you, it cannot take away your will to continue. Surrender looks like rest, but it is death in disguise. It is an invisible prison where your dreams slowly rot, where every "I can't" is a nail in the coffin of your potential. But the one who resists, who rises one more time, even when his legs tremble and his soul burns, that man is alive. And as long as you are alive, there is still something you can do. Do not give up, even if no one believes in you. The truth is, you do not need them to believe. You only need to not stop. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to push you when you do not want to move. No one is going to carry your battles. It is you against you, the fiercest enemy you will ever face. Not outside, but inside. That voice that says, it's not worth it. You already tried. You can't. Silence it. Silence it with action, with movement, with facts. That voice is not defeated with motivation. It is defeated with discipline. Every day you get up and do what you have to do. Even when you do not feel like it, you weaken it. Every time you choose effort over excuse, you make it smaller until one day it no longer controls your life. Until one day you look in the mirror and see a man who does not bend, who does not give up, who does not break. And that man, the one who endures, becomes a legend, not because others recognize him, but because he transformed himself. Because one day he decided that his pain would not be his end, but his fuel. That every blow would make him stronger, that every fall would make him wiser, that every dark night would make him more dangerous. You have to understand something. Giving up does not hurt at first. It hurts later. It hurts when you see others move forward while you stopped. It hurts when time passes and you realize you could have made it, but you did not have the courage to continue. Do not do that to yourself. Do not let regret eat you from the inside. Do not let what if become your shadow. If you are tired, rest, but do not give up. If you cry, wipe your tears, but keep going. If you fall, get up with anger. Anger against mediocrity. Anger against the old you who settled. Look at yourself closely. You are closer than you think. Many give up meters from the finish line, right when the pain tightens the most. But that pain is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign of transformation. It is the price of growth. It is the body, the soul, and the mind breaking their old version to make way for a stronger one. Do not run from it. Be grateful for the pain because it means you are on the right path. No one remembers the one who gave up. No one builds statues for the one who said, I can't anymore. But the one who endured, who continued, who held on when everyone abandoned him, that one leaves a mark. That one inspires. That one becomes living proof that human will has no limits. That man is you. If you decide not to give up today, if you decide that your story does not end here. Imagine your future for a moment. Imagine looking back and seeing everything you had to overcome. The nights of doubt, the days of pain, the defeats, the rejections, the tears no one saw. Imagine looking back and saying it was worth not giving up, because every one of those hard moments was necessary. They were the fire that tempered your steel, the blows that shaped your character, the silences that forged your soul. Without them, you would not be you. The soldier who survives the war is not the strongest. It is the one who never stopped. Because as long as you walk, as long as you breathe, as long as you fight, you are winning. No matter how slowly you move, you are still beating everyone who stayed still. Remember that when exhaustion wraps around you, when pain bends you, when doubt speaks to you, remember it. Continuing is winning. Victory does not come all at once. It is conquered little by little, day by day, with small battles won in silence. When you get up despite exhaustion, you win. When you train without motivation, you win. When you choose duty over laziness, you win. When you do the right thing, even when no one is watching, you win. Every right decision, every daily effort, every moment you choose to continue instead of giving up brings you closer to victory. But there is something more powerful than victory. Transformation, because in the end, it is not just about achieving something, but about becoming someone. Someone who does not bend to circumstances. Someone who inspires respect through example. Someone who can look adversity in the eye and say, I'm ready. The path of the one who does not give up has no end, because there is always a new summit, a new challenge, a new level. And that is the beauty of it. You never stop growing. You never stop evolving. And every version of you is stronger than the last. Because no matter how the world changes, there is one thing that will always be yours, your will to continue. So engrave this in your mind. No matter what happens, no matter who fails you, no matter how much it hurts, do not give up. Not because it is easy, but because it is your duty. Because there is something inside you that was not created for mediocrity. You were made to endure, to build, to rise when everything collapses. You were made to inspire others through your example. And one day, when everything has passed, when you are at the top, when you look back and remember every fall, every blow, every sleepless night, you will understand it. Every second was worth it, because resisting did not just lead you to success, it led you to yourself. It showed you who you really were. So get up one more time, clench your fists, lift your gaze, and keep moving forward. Do not wait for motivation. Create purpose. Do not wait to feel ready. Start. Do not look for easy paths. Build your own, because the men who leave a mark are not the ones who had luck. They are the ones who had courage, and you have it. You have proven it every day. You did not give up. Every day you chose to continue, even when no one recognized it. Every day you fought in silence. That is your power. That is your greatness. And as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you keep fighting, as long as you refuse to give up, there is no force in the world capable of stopping you, because a man who does not give up, even if he bleeds, even if he cries, even if he falls, is a free man. And the greatest freedom a human being can have is not depending on circumstances to continue. It is having enough fire inside to move forward no matter what happens. So never give up, neither today, nor tomorrow, nor ever, because while your heart keeps beating, there is still battle. And while there is battle, there is hope. And while there is hope, you can still win.